Crossroads Media.
Now, what they're going to do right now is rock and roll with Mike Yeo for the interim nod. And right now, they're not looking to interview anyone. They're not looking to rush the coaching hire. Bruce Boudreau just got hired by Vancouver. I'm not a big John Tortorella guy. Look, I'm okay with rocking with Mike Yeo right now. He was a part of the press conference today, and there was one thing I really did like about his message. Now, it tells you where this Flyers organization is, and it's a complete joke. But getting back to not so much strategic side of things, X's and O's, we got to get back to just good habits. Good habits over and over and over again will naturally lead to better hockey. And it's just about the habits right now and not so much just forcing all this new systematic stuff on everyone. Let's get back to playing hockey that is tough to play against a brand where teams are going, we got to play the Flyers tonight. It's going to be brutal. And that doesn't happen overnight, unfortunately. It's a work in progress. But what does this mean for the shakeup in the offseason? I don't know. I don't know what the message is going to be from this front office. Chuck Fletcher, he ends up failing in his first coaching hire. Now, AV's not a bad coach. Let's not act as if AV doesn't know what he's doing. This is the nature of coaching in the National Hockey League. You look around, John Tortorella, good coach. It's just the messages run dry. Peter Laviolette, good coach. Message runs dry. Bruce Boudreau, good coach. Message runs dry. The list goes on how many of these coaches. It's the NHL, man. This is one big carousel where it's nonstop. Now, I think that there's times where some coaches make more sense. For example, right now, obviously, you want to always have the best coach available, but I think with how toxic and how fragile the players are right now and this locker room is right now, to bring in a John Tortorella, I don't know if that's really the right message right now. To bring in a Bruce Boudreau, and obviously he's not available right now, but I don't know. I could live with Bruce more than Tortsy, but right now, is that the time for that type of message? A John Tortorella move, a Peter Laviolette move, that's a let's go win a championship. Let's bring in this new voice. We got the team. We need someone to kind of push them over the edge a little bit, light some fire under their ass, and let's go. Right now, this place is fragile. This place needs they need to get back to the basics. They need fundamental stuff from top to bottom, and that's where they are. It's disappointing because to enter the season, it was not that way. And the fact that we're here already and we're taking, that's pretty much a 5, 6, 7 step back mentality. But that's, truth be told, that's exactly where they are right now. I know some are afraid of the name Rick Tocchet because of maybe his coaching record, or it's that typical standard Flyers tie that everyone wanted to get away with Ed Snyder because he was obsessed with that. I'm okay with the Rick Tocchet. I'm okay with I know one that was brought up was Quinn, who got fired from the New York Rangers. But if you look at the Rangers and their philosophy, he's not a bad coach, but they needed a change. They bring in Gallant, who's ready to let's go win a title. Now let's kind of change the gear after a couple years. With Quinn, it's this team. Let's just find a way to mold this thing back. And I hate to say it, but it's almost a stopgap guy. That's how you're almost looking at this right now, a stopgap style of guy instead of a go-getter. Are you in the position right now to be a go-getter? See, we know Chuck Fletcher and this organization from top to bottom at this point is basically going to be in a we got to be competitive mode. They're not going to strip it entirely down, although now I think it's fair to kind of have that conversation, which makes my heart bleed, and it makes my eyeballs really sad and water up, because there's no way in hell I ever predicted that I'd be sitting here on December 6th at 1:30 p.m. after a press conference of AV being canned. I thought we'd be here right now, but with G on the contract, and, there's a lot happening here. JVR's contract, not worth it. Oscar Lindblom's contract, not worth it. I like the signing of Scott Lawton. He's very versatile, and I think he could show a bit more of what we saw. I believe it was against the Devils, where he had a goal and then he had an assist. A little luck from the puck bouncing off the zebras behind the net and whatnot, but that happens all the time. You take advantage of those opportunities. I think Scott Lawton has more left in the tank, but it's not just the coach. Look, this is not just a coaching issue. If you believe AV was the problem here, well, then you're just far off. It goes so much deeper. Players are overpaid. Players are not playing well. Players aren't as good as we anticipated. Ivan Provorov, I'll be honest with you, there's nothing wrong with being a number 2, but I definitely expected more from Ivan Provorov. I don't know if I would ever thought he'd be a pure number one. And you look around this league at the number one, maybe he's not that, but I still believe there's something in between that and where he is right now. And there's too many common issues that I just can't get behind. And if you need a Niskanen and you desperately need a Ryan Ellis, where you're going from this disaster to looking really sharp with an Ellis and a Niskanen, then you're not as good individually as we thought you were going to be. And that's a damn shame. It really is. Now, you can win with an Ivan Provorov on your roster, right? It's not like he's damaging to your core as a whole. Not every team has 6 number ones. No team has 6 number ones. My point is, though, from an individual skill set, I think it's fair to say that expected a bit more from Provy to this point.